Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, family.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for
Thanks for
joining
jump.
us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Thanks for jumping in. We are now officially on episode. I think it's episode 30. I think I've lost track at this point.
I did too.
Yeah, I think I've
That's
lost
so
track at
bad.
this
Who's
point.
counting, right?
Who's counting? But yeah, but really appreciate you guys. For joining us, jumping on the show. We got a good show tonight. I'm excited for this one too. How you doing, Pansy?
I'm well. How are you?
I am well as well. I'm well as well.
That's
So
good.
yeah, I just wanted to bring something up really quick. And I know that look, the world is going, seems like it's going upside down right now, right? A lot of people are nervous, just everything, especially the United States, but a lot of things going on.
And some of us
Um,
have experienced this already.
some of us
Yeah.
experience this already.
Like,
And but that's why, that's one of the benefits of this. It's we can still come together and we can still have discussions, we can still have conversations, we can still network, we can still build our businesses despite everything, right?
right? You can't,
Um,
you don't stop
right,
living, right?
right. Well, and my mom is famous for this, but she'll watch the news and build herself up into a tizzy,
Yeah.
right? I wonder why she can't get to sleep at night. And that's
Yeah.
what the news and all this stuff is built for. It's built to keep you engaged and watching. And one of the ways they do that is by making you angry, right? Because they know it keeps you watching. So I would say I would just plead with people, focus on what you can control. Don't let yourself get sucked into all the drama because it just pulls you. It's there to pull you off your game. You know what I mean? It's when you think about it, it's there to pull you off your game. And the last thing we want is for folks to get pulled off their game and lose momentum. It's all about momentum. Which brings me to our next point, and you can chime in on this, Pansy, if you want. But I was watching a really good post on Instagram, and this girl, she's a psychologist, and she does these really great posts. But she was talking about how, and I'm guilty of this too, but how we wait for motivation to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
What if you think about it, what is motivation? It's dopamine, right? Motivation is dopamine.
Yeah.
And so the way our brains work is that we don't get the motivation. Now, sometimes you do. Sometimes you'll feel a certain way and you'll be motivated to do something, but how often does that happen? It's not often, or not often enough, that's for sure, especially if you're trying to build a business or, build
I guess
wealth.
it just depends.
It does depend, but for the most part, if you're waiting to feel motivated, you're going to wait forever, is essentially the message before
I
you get,
mean, Mel Robbins speaks of it too. Like,
yeah,
procrastination and putting things off, and
yeah,
she gets it, I get it,
yeah.
but eventually you just have to just take that step, right? Like she does the 5 4 3 2 1, do it.
And that's
Like,
a great hack. That's a
just,
really good hack,
you
by the
know
way. Yeah, that's a
and
really good hack.
I've used it, similar hacks like that. Like,
Yeah,
I know that something has to get done, and no, I don't want to do it, and I'm like,
yeah. Well,
just do, and
well,
just,
look, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're going to talk about this with our guests too. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've been very guilty of this, and the way our brains are designed for survival, not for being motivated, right? So you get motivated, when you're running from lions and tigers, but in this world where we don't have to worry about lions and tigers anymore, that motivation the motivation comes after you start doing something, not before it. So there's a really good hack, and I'll talk about the hack later in the episode. So stick around. I'll talk about this brain hack that you can do.
you
It's similar
have
to
to
what
stick around in order
you
to
got to
get
stick
ahead.
around. You got to stick around, and I
That's
will
a
bring
good
it up.
one. That's
Yeah, I'll
good,
bring it back
Justin.
up. Yeah, but stick around because it's a good one. And it's similar to what Pansy was talking about, but not quite. It's a little bit different, and I think for me, anyways, everybody's different, but for me, this hack actually really works. So stick around for that. But just remember, the motivation comes after you start doing something, not before. You get the dopamine, you start the momentum, and that's when you get the dopamine and you start feeling that motivation. That's how our brains are wired, right? So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our guest. I'm really excited to bring him back on the show again. and talk to him about his business assignments. Leon Moody, Mr. Leon Moody, I'm going to bring you back up here. Let me add you. What's up, sir? You're muted, by the way.
Welcome back.
Hey,
There he is.
Thanks for
thank you,
being here.
Justin. Thank you, Pansy. It's such an honor to be back with you guys and fellowship and then getting down to some business.
I love it. I love it, man. Thank you so much for jumping back on with us.
You're welcome.
Um, I mean, the last time it was a great show. You had a lot of important things to talk about with regard to, overcoming obstacles, talking about your story, about where you started from. Uh, Really great. I wanted to have you back on specifically to talk about your business, talk about what's going on right now with you. I know you got some
Okay.
big things cooking right now, so we'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
so to kind of continue from the conversation that we had before.
Well, give us a 30-second wrap up. Can you give us a wrap up?
Gotcha.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
A little bit about your story, but let's not just like dig into it because it's in another episode. Everyone, you guys can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Just for anybody out there. But
Yeah.
anyways,
All right.
yeah, just a quick, real quick, get to us so that we can get to the good stuff because we
Gotcha,
didn't get to the real good stuff.
Right. I see. Well, I shouldn't be alive right now. My mother was scheduled to abort me actually, and at the abortion, she begged for my life, and my grandfather answered her cry and allowed my mother to have me at 16 years old. Um, Grew up without a father. I grew up with the father fracture. Immediate families surrounded my mother, surrounded me, shot me with love. I just was missing something, and what I was missing was that fatherly love. And then you fast forward that years later, I was T-boned. My car was T-boned by a drunk driver. Left me lifeless in my vehicle. My wife laid hands on me, prayed over me, and commanded life back to my body in Jesus' name. Life came
You were
back to my body.
legitimately dead, right? You were
Yeah, I was
legitimately
dead. I was
clinically
dead,
dead.
bro.
Yeah.
Dead, fam.
Crazy.
Dead. And so as she prayed, and life came back to my body, my pulse came back, and my breathing started coming back. And coming out the jaws of life, I slipped into a coma. So
Hmm.
now they rushed me to the hospital. We both my wife and I were hurt, pretty seriously injured, and so the doctors rallying like a fallen soldier in battle. They're trying to save my life, make sure I didn't die, save up the coma and die. My pastor comes in and he says, Pastor, if he survives this coma, he'll be a best for the rest of his life because he has a fractured neck and traumatic brain injury. The collision from the car damaged his brain. And my pastor looked at him and said, well, you know what? I thank you all so much you've done for Leon so far, but that's not his final fate. That's your final words, but not our final words. The word of God says that he's healed by the stripes of Jesus Christ, and the prayers of the righteous, the prayers of the believers, those who believe, shall avail us much and bring him back. So he laid hands on me, anointed me with oil. 2 weeks later, I came back out the coma, neck supernaturally fused. I was a little kooky, I ain't gonna lie. My brain was kind of scrambled. Brain was still scrambled. So
Yeah.
I had from going to church and hearing the word of God, praise music being played over me, I was able to rebound and strengthen and come back to who I am today as the founder, CEO, and president of Universal Sun Enterprise LLC, Wilson entrepreneurs and investors, also with private money engineers who are engineering private funds for people's projects. And we're actually working on a $60 million project in Puerto Rico, where I just helped with my partners. We have secured my client with $60 million to buy a block of homes, a theater, apartment building, a
Wow.
couple of Airbnbs. We're going to rebuild those and put those back up on the market. But yet we're going to restore the cultural dynamics of Puerto Rico, and not just wipe everything away because she's from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
She's
Well, Puerto
originally
Rico too, they like to preserve their culture, like and their
yes,
buildings. So they really do have a lot of strict kind of building rules there,
Yeah.
yes,
from hearing from Jerry, and I could appreciate that though, going there, having the opportunity to go there, the structures of the buildings and why they would want to keep them and,
Yeah.
intact as long as possible.
So
yeah,
let's talk about that really quick, Leon. You call yourself a private money engineer.
yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm part of several real estate investment communities, and what I do is I find private lenders with 401k, IRA money, um, money sitting in the bank that they apartment buildings they sold or houses they fixed and flipped, and
That's all right.
I help private investors put the money to use that they may have in a 401k or IRA. They don't know that. I educate them. I say, wait a minute, you can actually use those funds in your personal life.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
set up an account and use those funds to buy real estate.
And this is amazing. So, and by the way, is this like, okay, for example, are you teaching people kind of how to be their own bank? Is that sort of
Yes,
in a sense what
exactly,
you're teaching people? So
exactly. I'm
I
teaching them how
love
to be
this.
their own banks.
I could
Yeah,
nerd out on this like the whole episode, but I'm not going to.
yeah.
No, that's amazing. So what would you say? So you're helping people figure out, hey, you know what? I can actually use this money um and start helping people fund deals and start building wealth for myself with money I didn't even know I could do that with, right? So that's
Right,
the first thing, right?
right,
So what does that look like? You know, let's say like I'm one of your students or I'm somebody that approaches you or vice versa, you approach me. What
right.
does that look like? What does that process look like?
Well, let me first make sure that I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I'm not the teacher. I'm
Okay.
part of an education program that I bought the education myself, and
Oh, gotcha.
I learned from them. I
Got it.
have the education, so I won't be teaching people, but they will have world class instructors as part of my community. And you know, because I'm a a contract marketer. I market education to fellow people who investors want to learn how to invest in real
And then
estate.
they learn from the course. I gotcha. I
Exactly,
gotcha.
exactly.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, so let me ask you this in what you've learned so far and what you've been doing so far, like what are some common misconceptions that you see that people have about accessing private money and how are they getting helped to overcome some of that? Like what's
Well,
some of the stuff that you see?
one thing I want to let you people know that there's no true 100% private money. I want you to know there right now. The climate of the investment atmosphere and everything right now. No one's going to allow you to go into a deal with no risk at all. So you have to have some skin in the game.
Hmm.
If it's at least 10%. What I see most of my clients, we can connect them with private money lending, but 90% of the purchase, 100% of the rehab. But
Okay.
you must have some skin in the game. It may not be your skin in the game, but somebody's skin in the game. Maybe your partner, maybe your mom, maybe
Right.
that friend of yours who has an IRA or 401k that's not making money. You can use through the education. You can have them learn how to use that to invest in your project.
Got it.
But you're gonna need someone's money.
Right.
There's no more 100%. No, I have no money. I have no risk. I want to use your money to experiment with, or not experiment with, but have all the risk. You take all the risks.
Right.
No, you got to have some type of skin in the game. That's
Yeah,
number
there's
one.
got yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to
And
cut you off.
that's okay. And you know what? And we have a program where they teach you how to build up your credit. You can get lines of credit. You get millions of dollars in lines of credit, $100,000 lines of credit, and that could be the skin in the game. But you need some skin in the game.
Yeah. And you need to know how to go get that, right? And so that's part,
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's part of the education. Yeah, I would
Yes.
say that's the biggest thing. You hear all of this, and a lot of it's marketing, right? A lot of it's just marketing, like, hey, buy real estate with no money, right? There's no
Yeah.
such thing as buying real estate with no money. It's
No.
gonna be somebody's money, right?
Somebody's money.
Somebody's money
Somebody's
is
money.
is, is in the deal.
And
So
that's what I do as a private money engineer. I find the money for you.
right,
I
got it.
find the money for you and I find deals as well. I have an aspect of my company with real estate redevelopers and also entrepreneurs where we find deals, wholesale deals for
Yeah,
investors as
love
well.
it. Love it. Now, are you guys doing the underwriting on those deals
Yeah,
as
we
you're finding?
underwrite them and then we submit them to the lender.
Got it. Got it. So you already know what the lending terms are going to be and all of that when you present these deals. You've already got them underwritten and you know what the lending terms are going to be.
Yes, I sit down. Sometimes I sit down with my client, like, okay, let me see what's the income expense worksheet. Let me see the current rent rolls.
Yeah.
Let's crunch these numbers first to see if you really got the deal. Because I don't
Nice.
want nobody to take advantage of someone anyway. You know, and take because some people, and not the people I deal with, but some people will loan you money knowing you're going to fail.
Yeah.
and be looking right there to scoop up the property when you fail, when you renege on the property, when
Right.
they can foreclose on you, when you actually lose the property foreclosure.
Yep.
So
In
I
other
take
words,
my
that they call that loan to own, right? They're trying to
yeah,
lend you so they go own the property. Yeah.
loan on, right, right.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
I do, I help my clients say, do you really have a deal? I've had
Yeah.
several clients come to me like, I got this deal, Leon, let's get funded. I said, like, bro, this deal's gonna bankrupt you and
Yeah.
gonna ruin your business. That's
Yeah.
not a deal.
That's not a
So
deal.
I underwrite it for my clients when they bring the deal to me, and I show
Right.
them like, this is a good deal, it's a bad deal. If it's
Right.
a bad deal, let's get together. Let me show you how to get good deals. We have access to thousands of foreclosures across the entire country. I have some statistics here, if you don't mind
Go ahead.
sharing
Yeah.
here. In the states that I work in Illinois, one out of every 857 homeowner is in foreclosure. In Indiana, one of every 976 people in foreclosure. And also in Dallas, Texas, which is a very hot market right now, there's 3,615 foreclosure filings as
Wow.
of today.
Wow. That's
And
bananas.
then in
That's
Arizona, also where we were doing business, there's one every 5,000. In Missouri, one every 8,000. And in Michigan, one every 4,000.
yeah.
So if you want to get into real investing, you want to know the numbers of your state you want to invest in, and you want to know the pulse of the market.
Right. And so let me ask you a question about that because there's a lot of different schools of thought on this. Most of the time what I hear is people saying like, hey, choose one market, go all in on that market for 90 days, or choose one market and get really good at that market before you look at any other markets. Is that kind of is that how you feel about it, or for folks that are just getting started, is
Yes,
the question I'm asking, right?
if you're just getting started
Mhm.
and don't have many resources and not that many connections, I would suggest that you find one market, and I say that market be your hometown.
Okay.
I say no more than 10 to 20 miles from where you live,
Okay.
because you
Now,
know the market.
well, let me ask you this. What about someone like myself who lives in California?
Now, in California, I mean, I know in California, it's some crazy birds out in California, brother. So, so,
There's
I
still
you,
buyers in California.
There are.
it's
Yeah,
still
there are.
fires. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
But
there's still people buying in California.
oh no, no, I know, but what I'm saying, I would never touch California because the entry level is so high.
Yeah.
I go to more markets, the lower entry level markets, like
Yeah.
St. Louis,
Yeah.
Memphis.
Yeah.
You got Dallas, Texas, but California is the entry level is too high for me to even want to invest there. I want to put that much of my money into one property.
Right.
Why
Right.
do that
Spread
in
it out.
California? I can spread it out. Like I'm in the Midwest. One house in California could be 10 houses in St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you just
Uh,
tell people to go to their backyard.
Yeah.
I know because if you live in California, you got the money. See what I'm saying? So if you live in California, you make good money. You can afford the properties there because that's your backyard, right? But
Not
however, if you're in California,
necessarily. Not
Not
necessarily.
really,
necessarily.
I would
really,
say so. I would say this, and that's not always the case. A lot of people, yes, they can afford it, but for folks who are just getting started in real estate or learning real estate, if you're in a place like California, I like the fact that I'm in California because it forced me to go look at other markets.
okay.
California is one of those markets where, in my opinion, California is one of those markets where you go make your wealth in other places, and then you come back to California and you put your money in something stable in California and just let it sit, right?
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
And then,
that's
so
my
if
that's my school
if
of thought around California.
so you're right, Justin. If I tell you your own backyard, you know your backyard better than I do. Well,
Yeah,
Leon, I can't do my own backyard. Like parents, I can't do my own backyard in California. I'm gonna go somewhere like St. Louis, Missouri,
yeah,
Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Those are some of the best markets for lower entry level properties.
yeah,
Kansas City,
yeah,
Michigan. You
yeah,
know, those are some nice blue collar places. I had a property just come across my desk yesterday in Kansas City in a blue collar neighborhood, heavily Hispanic, and I like this property because the character of the people that live there are strong. They
yeah,
work hard, they pay their bills, and they're all about community and family. And what more would an investor want than invest somewhere like that, where it's community based, family
Hey,
based?
the numbers make sense, right? And the numbers make
Right,
sense.
and
Can you do me a favor, Leon? Can you bring your lid down a little bit? Because you're kind of like we're seeing just the top of your head. There you go.
Okay,
There you
sure,
are.
sure.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean you're absolutely right. I mean, I actually talked to an investor who invests in St. Louis, and he had the same argument. It's like, I can go get five or 10 properties here in St. Louis that are all, making me 10, 12, 18, 20% cash on cash return. Why would I go to another state and buy one property? It's like I can swoop up a whole bunch of properties here
Yeah,
and make a bunch of good cash flow on these properties here. And the entry fees low. The cost of entry is a lot lower.
yeah,
But I can make equal. I can grow my money equally as fast, or have an equal amount of returns, if not better. So
yes,
it's a numbers thing, right?
yeah.
Um, so let me ask you, can you walk us through? I would really love to hear a little bit more about that $60 million deal you're doing in Puerto Rico. How did that come about? Like, how did you guys even get started with that?
Well, it was actually a young lady responded to one of my posts.
Mhm,
Said, Leon, I'm a money lender,
mhm,
but I can't get this deal done.
mhm.
That's why I pride my company. We help people get the hard deals done,
Yeah.
deals that banks won't do, some private investors won't do. We'll get it done for you. So she's
Okay.
a Leon, this young girl. She's in Puerto Rico. She's a go getter. She's very ambitious, but no one will fund her. Can you get her done? Can you get her funded? I said, you know what? Let me take a look at the file. Take a look at it. So I looked over the file, solid file, and I reached out to some of my contacts, some of my investor partners, the community I'm a part of, and no one was interested. So I got a friend of mine who I know who's an investor. He may have some partners. So we reached out to him. It's all about networking. It's
Yeah.
not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And you
Absolutely.
build your team around you.
You just
And
didn't give up. You just kept going, huh?
I
Yeah.
kept on going. I kept on fighting. I'm like I said, Pansy. Remember, I was standing in line for government cheese. I know how to make the best grilled cheese sandwich out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Out of
Yeah.
government cheese and Wonder white bread. So I
Yeah.
was not gonna stop. I said, I'm gonna make this happen for this girl because she has dreams and vision, the same type of vision I have for a place to have people have recovery, redemption, second chance in life, uh, opportunity to have prosperity, opportunity to be loved, opportunity to be pulled out of the gutter, opportunity to be pulled out of a prison situation, things of that nature. So that just really just lit me up. Her vision for her area that she lives in
Yeah,
and
I
grew up
like
in.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so you kept pursuing it. You kept talking to your contacts. You didn't give up. And what does that deal look like? So you had mentioned, I think there's a multifamily, a couple buildings involved, some Airbnbs, right? What does that actually look like?
Well, we're gonna go in. It's two buildings.
Mhm.
One building has 12 units, and the other building has 14 units in there.
Okay.
And we're gonna make repairs, of course,
Mhm.
rehab it, make it nice, and
Mhm.
then we're gonna set up a Airbnb. And the great thing about it, she was so happy with what I did for her and got her funding. She offered me 10% equity into the project.
Nice.
No, so not only am I going to get my uh my engineering fee, which is 3%
Mhm.
of the 60 million.
Mhm.
Also, I'm to have this 10% equity partner in the project now, and I'll be going down to Puerto Rico and working on the project and help supervise it and help bring it to pass.
That's amazing. So is it
It
just
sounds like you need an assistant.
Let's go, let's
yeah,
go,
yeah,
let's
fans.
let's go. Can I help?
yeah.
We never know. I'll see. We need some help.
All
Definitely.
right, let me know.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
And then
So
also, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no, I
Jay.
was gonna say, is it just the two buildings or what?
No, it's a whole block. It's a whole block.
Oh, it's the whole
In
block.
fact,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
two, two,
Okay.
two buildings. It's some houses, an old church, um, a theater. We're gonna take this whole. We're gonna buy the whole
Okay.
block, and we have
Okay.
$60 million to put to work for us.
Got it.
Interesting.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so
So
excited.
So and now how long did that take? What's been the time span for that to get to where you are now? How long you been working on
Well,
this?
we've been working on this for about, I said, good 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it takes time. It takes time. Once you know, it's not overnight. It's not overnight success. It's not going to be. It's not going to be like wake up, wake up. It could be a miracle. You never know. But
Yeah.
this was something we've been diligently working. And I'll be honest with you. For me, it seems like an overnight thing because it just came. This came to me about maybe 2 or 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and we're looking to close in January.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
the young lady who she worked on it for a while couldn't
Yeah.
find anyone. So
Yeah.
that's one thing we pride my Universal Enterprise business on is getting the difficult deals done in a
Yeah.
timely manner, a timely fashion.
Yeah. You know what? So you're bringing up a memory I have of a friend of ours who has been trying for a long time to get. It's kind of his passion project, but he's been trying for a long. And Pansy's gonna probably remember who this is, but I think his name's Kelly. I think it was Kelly was his name, but
Oh, Kelly Besham.
yeah, yeah, he's been trying to get this deal together for a long time, and it's a solid, he's been working on it for years now. I mean, he knows his stuff. He's got the performance put together. He's got his pitch deck. He's got everything put together. He knows his
Okay.
numbers. He's spoken to the mayor. He's spoken to all the business owners that are across the street from this project. They all want
Yes.
in. Problem is, banks are not lending on passion projects. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Most banks, especially right now, and it was even true, towards the end of last year, banks are not interested, man. If it's not a run of the mill, you can't show you know, immediate returns, like banks are just not interested, you know?
Yeah, you would definitely need someone in the private sector that would
Yeah.
be interested in that. And, I was talking to people at I think it was last year's Squad Up Summit about different projects that I came across
Mhm.
similar to Kelly's and of Kelly's.
Mhm.
And while nobody seemed like, yeah, definitely, but there were a few people are like, oh, I just finished a project, something like that, or whatever. Um, so there are people out there. So I
Yeah.
guess, and I
yeah.
don't believe Kelly's given up yet.
No, in
So
Right.
fact, I would love to put you two together in touch with each other if there's and see if there's something you could possibly do for him. I'm not sure where he's at with it yet. He may have already
Okay.
found the funding. I'll have to
Okay.
talk to him and see where he's at with it. But
Okay.
I think that could be a good
yeah, there's another group of people that were possibly still looking for money for another passion project. I want
mhm.
to say in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, like folks, like if you guys are watching us right now and you've got a project like that you've been working on and you've been struggling to find funding, you need someone like Leon. You need somebody that's going to do this, has the contacts already, knows how to put the money together, and is going to do it in sort of maybe an unconventional way, right? Because the conventional way is obviously not working. So
Exactly.
that's it for that.
It's
And what we
creative.
do, I'm not like I said, I'm not the lender, but I'm the architect. I'm the capital architect, and what I do is we use hedge funds, IRA, 401k investors, institutional capital,
Right,
private lenders, JV equity partners, and we put deals together,
right,
engineer them
right.
together.
Engineer them, just like you said. So let me ask you a question. How do you go about, vetting your borrowers and vetting your lenders to kind of build these relationships or build the situation where it's kind of a win-win for everybody in the
Right.
situation? What does that look like?
Well, I have a vetting worksheet that I give out to all my potential borrowers. A
Oh,
vetting
okay.
worksheet, um, and they tell me about the project. I said, "Well, that's a great project. Well, fill out this vetting worksheet. Your credit score is not I have several contacts where I can get them funding, not based on credit score, but based on the deal. But then there are also some of my partners who will fund on based on the credit score.
Oh, interesting. So you
Yeah,
you actually have lenders. Yeah, are they private money lenders that are doing
yeah,
this?
they're private
Oh,
money
interesting.
lenders, institutional lenders,
Interesting.
401k, IRA money, hedge funds. Now, my hedge fund guys, they could care less about your credit score. Honestly, they're more
Interesting.
concerned about the deals.
Right. Well,
But
that's what
my
I mostly hear about. That's what I'm, you know, now I'm thinking about private money lenders or you know, even institutional lenders who would lend on something like this. They're looking at the deal. They're not looking at your personal credit, right?
Right,
For the most part.
right, right. And then, but then I got a group of investors who fund my clients' projects, and they want to see history. How many have you done? You know, how
Right.
many have you done in the past?
Right.
And then some of my funding partners, they'll fund you with no experience, but they're going to charge you points and interest. So therefore they're securing their money,
Okay.
securing their position
Yeah,
by charging a
that
higher
makes
interest
sense.
rate and more points.
Yeah.
And I actually I just had one of my clients with a 16-unit apartment building she was buying. She's thinking about like $3 million total with the rehab work, and she explained to me that well, Leon, I like the numbers, I like the terms, but can I extend it for more than 12 months? I said sure, but you can extend the term, but you're gonna have to pay in points to extend the terms. And
Got
she
it.
said, okay, that's fine, no problem. But she wanted to make sure she had a buffer to extend it from 12 to maybe 24 months if she needed it.
Interesting. And they were okay with doing that? They were okay with extending it?
Oh yeah, they're okay, but she had to pay for the extension. I
Pay for-
think it's a
yeah.
point
Okay.
for every 6 months, I believe.
Yeah.
So
That sounds about right. That sounds about average.
yeah.
So now you've kind of built or you've started building your own real estate portfolio, right? Is that correct?
Well, actually, I don't have anything right now. I'm just dealing with private money right now.
Dealing with private money. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing private money right now. I'm getting my money where I need to be, where I can go
Gotcha.
do that.
Gotcha. So you can go start building your own portfolio. So
Yeah.
so let me ask you, as you're you know, you're focused on helping others kind of replicate your success, right?
Right.
Um, what do you wish more people understood about raising private money, about raising capital for deals? What do you wish that, like, when people came to you, what do you wish that if you could just like put your brain into their head or something, you know what I mean? Well, what do you wish they already knew when you deal with these folks?
I wish they already knew the importance of self improvement and working on themselves.
Ah, interesting.
I wish they
Interesting.
knew how to position themselves, and we help them as well. We help them position themselves in a more a light where you can be trusted with someone's money.
Right.
You know,
What now?
just don't.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that's fine. Wait, Justin, what you say?
Well,
So
I
you
was
think
gonna,
it's, oh, sorry. So you think it's more about the person than the actual deal more than anything?
You know, it depends because I have some partners, lending partners, who want a relationship. They want to see who you are. How
yeah,
many children do
Right.
you
I
have?
get that. Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
but then I got other guys who say, I don't care about nothing, but what's the deal look like?
right, right.
So it's a catch-22. It depends on who I put my clients with, and I'll say, what's your credit score or
Yeah,
what's your history? Okay, I'm not gonna take it to this guy because I know my guy here. He's gonna know. He wants to know everything about you, but
yeah,
I know we just get the deal funded. Talk about information about the deal. Let's get it done. So
right,
I've,
right.
I've got a team of lenders and partners, money, private institutions and hedge funds that I know I have to fit exactly with the type of personality
Yeah, that makes
and the
sense.
person's
I
situation.
get that. I
Yeah,
get
So
that.
that's really interesting. So you're kind of you're not only looking at these deals and vetting these deals, but you're obviously you're vetting the people as well, but not just vetting the people. You're looking at the people, their personalities, and you're looking at them to match with these lenders and folks that you already have relationships with. Who's going to work better with this person? You know, maybe this lender over here is going to work better with this person as opposed to this lender, you know. Is that kind of how you kind of put it together a little bit?
yeah. That's one of the aspects I'm putting it together.
That's
That's so
interesting.
and also you must have a clear exit strategy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have a clear exit strategy. Clear exit strategy, and like forget. I'm gonna give you an example of a strong deal. You have a clear exit strategy. You have strong ARVs and strong operational profile of how you're going to execute the flicks and flip. Do you have a team already in place?
Mhm.
Do you have contractors? Who do you have? Do you have a good real estate agent? You know,
Right,
is it a favorable location? What are the fundamentals of the area? You know, what's the crime rate? You know,
right.
so what's the crime rate? How's the school district in that area? Is the economy of that area, is that going up? Is it going down? How much do you know about this project you're trying to get funded for? And
Right.
a lot of times people don't have all that together.
It's
You
kind
must
of
have.
surprising, isn't it? Isn't it like, we
Yeah,
talk about,
it
I mean,
really
we
is.
talk about, it's locate like real estate's all about location, location, location. I'm always really surprised at how little people understand about the location that they're even looking at the deal in. Like, you know, we look in Jacksonville, it's one of our markets. And actually Pansy was talking to someone about that, I think it was today. And they kind
I
of
spoke
described
to few people today.
few people, but there was one in particular that had mentioned, Jacksonville's a lot like a checkerboard.
Yeah.
Mm,
You can go from, block to block and you'll be in a completely different neighborhood, right? Values are completely different. You go from one street over and now you're in a completely different school district and the
right.
homes are worth something completely different than the
It's
street.
like that
Exactly.
here all over
Yeah.
Chicago too.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's
True.
that's a very
True.
common thing, right? And so, but people
Yeah.
don't seem to pay attention. I'll tell you, for us, when we're looking at deals, we have a checklist of things that immediately it's all about disqualifying the deal as fast as possible, right? So you're looking at it like, hey, is it in a flood zone? Is it in an area that's got high crime rate, right? What is, yeah, exactly. What's the school district? What do the schools look like in the area? But for us also, and then it's about looking at the deal itself and looking if it passes those two check marks. Then it's about looking at the numbers of the actual deal itself. What do rent rates look like in the area, right?
Exactly.
How long are
Exactly.
properties sitting on the market for in that area, right?
Right. Days
Um,
on market.
days on market, yeah, man. I mean, when you're looking, especially when you're looking to do a fix and flip, that's something you should probably know, right? Because that's going to factor into your holding costs and everything else. So I would say, and for the folks that come to you with supposed deals, right? A lot of them don't have all that information, right? They don't know
Right.
it, right?
And like I was sharing with you just earlier, we help them underwrite the deal. So they come to bring me a deal. Okay,
Yeah,
let's look at this deal. Okay,
yeah,
why do you want to raise capital with this deal?
yeah,
Okay, what are the solutions to your problems? Okay, first of all, I'll say, okay, let's find out how much is your holding cost?
yeah,
How much is taxes?
yeah,
Is there how much is it uh to hold up for the light, the gas? You because doing the rehab, you gotta need the lights on, the gas on
yeah,
to make it livable and accessible and have people come in and do work in it. You
yeah,
can't just so there's expenses that you must account for.
yeah,
You must account for the points you're gonna give, the interest rate, all your income, all your expenses. You got to have that all in a nice tight file. And we have a program where I take my clients' projects, filter through that, and say, okay, you're gonna make 12% of this deal, or
yeah.
you're gonna lose 5,000 this deal. It's not a good deal.
It's not a
They're like,
deal.
oh my
Yeah,
God. They're like, man, this is not a deal. I say,
yeah,
it's not a deal. Here's the number. Let me break it down, underwrite it for you, and show you you're gonna lose
yeah,
money in this deal.
yeah,
If you try to use private hard money on this deal or private money, you're gonna lose deal money in this deal because the cost is more than what's gonna be worth
yeah,
what it's worth.
yeah,
The ARV is not gonna sustain all the costs you have.
yeah. I
You
remember
know,
when I remember when I first got started, I fell into this trap early on, and I'm glad I did because I learned to get out of it early on. But I fell into the trap of trying when you're looking at a deal or someone brings you something and you're looking at it, you're trying to turn it into a deal, right? You're trying to like pull all the levers and see how you can turn it into the deal. When in fact, how you should actually be looking at it is how can I disqualify this right from the get-go? What are all the things that I don't like about in other words, that property's got to prove to me that it's a deal
Sorry.
before I move forward. You're good. You're good. that property's got to prove to me that it's a deal before I'm gonna lift a finger, right?
That's right.
Uh, and and I got into that trap, and that's especially easy to do when you're looking at creative deals, because creative deals, it's really, in a lot of cases, it's just about how you're going to negotiate it, how you can negotiate it. Because many creative deals might actually work if you can negotiate better terms. But then there's plenty of deals where it doesn't matter how much negotiation you're going to do. They bought that thing too high.
Yep.
Their mortgage is too high. It doesn't matter what exit strategy you do with that property, you're not going to make any money with it. So just
That's right.
move on, right? So yeah, and I fell into that early. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I got on a call. We were looking at a property in a really nice area in Newport Beach in California. And I mean, it wasn't one of the most expensive properties. It's probably a $2 million property. But right off the jump, most investors like $2 million. It's like, but why even mess with that? That's like a luxury flip kind of thing or something. It's very difficult to make money with properties like that, especially when you're talking about buying and holding, unless you've just got some insane creative terms that they're giving you. But I remember I was looking at it and I was trying to turn this thing into a deal. And I was on a call with a really experienced investor, and I remember he stopped me. He's like, Justin. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, sounds like you're married to this deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit. He's like,
Right.
you need to stop, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not a deal. This is for somebody that's gonna buy it and live in it and fix
Yes.
it up. This is not an investor deal, right? But
Right.
he let me go through the motions, right? He let me explain it and all this, crap, and just shut me down right away. I was like, damn. And so from that moment on, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get married to a deal.
Right.
It's gotta look good. It's gotta prove to me that it's a deal before I'm gonna do anything with it. So, well, I first of all, I love the fact that you're helping people kind of look at these deals, work through them, and figure out if they're even worth the time, right?
Yeah.
If it's even a deal. And now you put it through you said you have a calculator, right? You put it through
Yes.
sort of
I have a
sort
back
of a
office
step by
program.
checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Checklist. We
gotcha.
underwrite the deal.
Yeah.
Uh, it's called investor operating software that I have,
Okay, I gotcha.
and
Now,
and
how
I
do
have a,
you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, man. Go
that's
for it.
all it's fine. And the community that I'm a part of, you have to be a member to have to get that comes along with your education. So they
Okay.
teach you how to break down the deal. Also have software to help you underwrite your own deals.
Okay. Now, because I want to make sure that folks that are watching this and the people that are on right now that have access to either get in touch with you. Now, can you get them into that mentorship, or do
Oh yeah, definitely.
you want them to reach out to you first and you can get them
Yeah,
into the mentorship, right?
yeah.
Okay.
If they
I got
reach out to me, and I'll put them through a process,
okay.
process onboarding process where we'll get them connected, to get the right tools to be successful. And I'll be there along the way to help them with their funding for their projects once they learn how to actually do the deals.
Okay. So, we're getting towards the end of this, but I have a couple of more questions. Pansy, do you have anything else you want to ask Leon at this point?
And questions? No, I don't have any more
No?
questions. I
Okay.
think we covered more than enough.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I would like to know what is, a piece of unconventional advice that you'd give to someone who's trying to get into this world of private money lending, real estate investing. What would you tell someone like that right now? Unconventional advice you'd give someone.
The legacy you meant to build isn't waiting on Wall Street. It's waiting on alignment.
Interesting.
Let's engineer your legacy.
Okay. I like that. I
Let's
love that.
structure let's structure your destiny, and let's flip this culture from survival to significance.
Yeah.
What is your why? Let's develop your why, your reason for living, your reason for investing, and have a strong goal for your reason for living. and wanted to be an investor.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's been one of our things, Pansy and I, early on, we're like, what do we want? What do we actually want to accomplish? What do we actually want to do? And then it's about engineering that, right? Like you like
Yes,
to
yeah,
private money engineer, you got to engineer that destiny. So I like that a lot. Leon, man, I really appreciate you being on here. I would like to know, because this is something that I struggle with. I still work a 9 to 5. I still work. I'm in cybersecurity. I'm
yeah,
grateful for my job. I'm grateful for my work. But I do that and this, put a lot of
yes.
hours in every day. Um, how do you balance, what you're doing with helping people with private money and building your own wealth, right? Like, how do you balance that work life
The
situation?
great, I have a great situation here. I'm an educator,
Yeah.
so I have the summers off.
Okay.
Summers,
Nice.
summers is where I really,
You just hit it.
Oh, so
and I,
you're back to educating then. You've been
yes,
back for a while now.
yeah. And so what I do, Pansy, I have my checks spread out over the summer
There you
so
Mhm.
go.
that I'm never without income.
Mhm.
So I want to encourage strategically put yourself to always have income come in every month.
Yeah.
Never go cold turkey unless you want to, but there's a lot of pressure on that. Not having money to pay your bills. I'm gonna go right to this real estate thing. I'm being honest with you. That is always have a backup plan to have money always coming in.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the community I'm a part of. If you want to hop in cold turkey, you can do what we call contract marketer. You can sell the education as you build up your income
Yeah.
through real
Yeah.
estate. So, but
Nice.
I would say always have a backup plan, especially if you're married.
Yeah.
Especially if you're married, and you have
Look,
children.
too late. Too little.
That's like man,
Too little, too late.
new beginning,
Hey.
man, new beginning
Yeah.
says, new beginning says, have a backup plan and also have faith and be strong from naysayers. And sometimes negative people in your life need to go.
Yeah.
You understand if someone's in your life and they're draining you and they're not adding value to your purpose or adding value to your reason your reason for being living to live, you have to cut them out your life.
Yeah.
And
I
sometimes
wish sometimes it's not that easy though. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes those very people are the people that are in your family that
I
are going to
know,
be around
I
you.
bro, I ain't saying it's gonna be easy,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
just got to do it because
Yeah.
guess what? They'll come around.
Yeah.
I promise you, they'll come around because if they are family, they say, "Man, he was on a mission, and
Yeah.
he let nothing distract him." I'm not saying be mean to people. I'm not saying be harsh to people. I'm saying prioritize. What is your priorities?
We've
And
spoken
my
about this before,
Yeah.
really,
a few times on our
yeah,
podcast.
Mhm.
yeah,
You have to, what's the word? I don't use discernment with
yeah. That's it.
who you
Discernment.
surround yourself with, right? And the energy you surround yourself with, the things you take in
Yeah.
through different electronics, whatever,
Yeah.
everything has something to do with how you feel.
Yeah.
So
Yes, and let me tell you something too about that. Always go with your gut feeling. If something don't feel right, it ain't right.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm overthinking. No, if it's something doesn't feel right, then it's not right.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people don't pay attention to that feeling. Actually, you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, you got to recognize it.
What
And
you mean?
you
I'll let you
talked
mean.
about you talked about, if somebody's draining your energy. Well, in order for you to know if somebody's draining your energy, you got to pay attention to that, right? You got to pay attention when you're around these people. Is that what's actually happening? Are they actually draining energy? Every time you hang out with so and so, do you feel exhausted every time, right? Afterwards, like pay attention to this because it's your body telling you, it's your brain telling you, yeah, maybe that person's not so good for you, right?
Right.
So
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. And let me be honest with you. You want peace
yeah,
because without peace, you can't make a wise decision.
Oh,
Never make a
like that.
decision based on emotions. Let the decision that you make be concrete and rooted with wisdom and knowledge of the situation.
Yeah.
And no, they say like in the airplane, say if you're in the airplane and you're about, and so
You got to
and
put your own mask on
Yeah,
first.
but John.
yes, Pansy, you read my mind. You got to
Yeah.
take, because you can't take care of your babies if you don't if you breathing.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself, not being selfish. You're being wise.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
yourself. Do what it takes to empower yourself to empower others.
Yeah. Love it.
Renew your mind. Renew your mind. For me, I renew my mind with the word of God. I am who I am today, y'all, because God's word.
Yeah.
It's His love, His word has changed me tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
I would say like you gotta find that for yourself, what that is. And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes time to figure out what that is
Yes.
for you, what brings you peace. For me, I have a place that I like to go down by the ocean and I can just go and sit, you know what I mean? Spend an hour there and come back home. And after spending an hour just in that place, I'm a lot more grounded, I'm a lot more level-headed, right? But you're right, you can't make good decisions when you're stressed out, when you're angry. Those decisions are going to be not the best decisions almost
That's right.
always, right? Cool, man. Well, listen, Leon, we're towards the end here, and I really do appreciate you coming back on. I'm excited for you and what you're doing. What's the best place for people to get in touch with you?
You can go to two things. You can go look me up on Instagram
Mhm.
at Coach Moody _,
Okay.
or you can also look me up on LinkedIn, Universal Sun Enterprises LLC on Instagram. Also, you can look me up on Facebook, uh, Leon Moody / Universal Sun Enterprises
Okay.
LLC.
And guys, I'll put it in the description. So if you're watching this after the fact, I'll have all the links in the description to get in touch with Leon. Yeah, and I think I'll do this. Well, I'm gonna say we're gonna end it here, but I'll leave it with this. What I
Can I put it
started.
in the chat? I'm sorry.
Oh
Can I put it in
yeah,
the
Oh
chat?
yeah, yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Let me
you're
go to
absolutely.
the chat
supposed
real
to
quick.
give people the
Yeah,
tip, the pointer, right?
yeah.
From
Let me do
earlier.
that.
I was just about to do that.
Yeah.
I was just about to do that. So,
Go ahead, bro.
and yeah, actually, please do put that in the chat, Leon, for the folks who are here. So I'm gonna leave it with this: the brain hack, and I was talking about motivation comes after action, not before it. So if you're waiting for motivation, you're gonna wait a very, very long time. Um, you get that momentum, and then the motivation comes in the form of dopamine after you start doing the thing. So one of the best hacks that I've found for myself with this, just tell yourself you're going to do it for 2 minutes. I'm going to do this thing for 2 minutes.
Like
Literally
start
time yourself.
somewhere, anywhere, just
It
start.
doesn't even 1 minute. Tell
Yeah.
yourself you're going to do it for 1 minute.
We've
Time
talked
yourself.
about that before. I told you when I started with yoga and I really wasn't into any kind of real exercise, like I would get my exercise participating in whatever the kids were doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, went through my health thing, whatever. But to build myself back up, like I'm like, get through 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just do 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's
And
why I'd
then,
say 2 minutes, right? Or
yeah,
even 5 minutes. 5 minutes is probably better, but
right.
sometimes that 2 minutes is just, it's not intimidating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And even I remember even well before a bunch of friends of ours did like a plank challenge.
Yeah.
And you started off, like 30 seconds or something and worked your way up until we were at like 3 minutes or something like that. So yeah, like that first week or two or whatever, getting started was the hardest part. I'm like, oh, why did I agree to this?
3 minutes is a long plank, man. People don't know 3 minutes is a long time. Have you
It
ever
It
been,
is.
is.
It
have
really
you ever
is.
been in a boxing ring? You ever been in a boxing ring? 3 minutes is a very long time.
No, I
Yeah, it
told you
is.
about my boxing story. That was quick
Yeah.
and very short-lived.
Yeah. But still, even for planking, though, that's a long time. But that's why I like the 2 minute, even 5 minutes. You got to pick what fits for you. I like the 2 minutes because it's not intimidating. It's a very short amount of time, but it's a good amount of time to start feeling momentum. And that's what gives you the motivation. That's the secret that nobody talks about.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah. All right, guys. Leon, thank you again so
It's
much
a pleasure, Justin.
being
It's a
here. Yeah.
pleasure, Kenzie.
Yeah, we'll have you back. I'd love to see what happens with you in the future too, with future deals. Um, heck, we might even become customers. I don't know yet.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Let's
Hey,
do it.
hey, man. So, anyway, I'm Justin. This is Pansy, the Friends with Benefits podcast. Thank you guys again for another great show. I think we're on episode 30. But thanks for being here, and we'll see you again next time, next Friday. See you guys.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.